Okay, so one more really important thing that isn't really necessarily related to the golf swing is the pre-shot routine. So this is something that we should make constant. It should be the same exact routine we use before every single shot, and it can really help us in pressure situations. If you're really feeling the pressure or the nerves on a shot, or you're playing in a match, if you revert back to your pre-shot routine, it kind of puts you in a comfort zone and get you ready for the shot. So I'll show you my pre-shot routine. It doesn't have to be what yours is, but you should make it your own, and it should be something you're comfortable with so you can go to every single time. So if I have a shot here, I'm hitting to that shed down there, I'm going to try to find an intermediate target. So an intermediate target is something on the ground in line with that. So it's this clump of grass right here, right there. So then I'm going to get back behind the ball, make sure that's the right intermediate target. And then I'm going to line up my club face. Just as we did with putting, we want our face perpendicular to the line we're aiming at. I'm going to make sure it's lined up with that intermediate target before I make my stance. And then without moving my wrist, without moving the club face, I'm going to set up to the ball. And right now I'm locked and loaded. I'm ready to make the swing. I don't want to change anything. My balance is good. I'm confident in the shot. I visualize what I want to do. And hopefully I hit a good shot. Okay, so now that we know we've practiced our BLT stance and kind of the putting stroke for the bump and run chip, let's actually hit some balls. We're going to be aiming towards this flag, and I'll just kind of walk back and forth amongst you all and see if I can find anything that you guys can improve on. So let's just take a minute and each hit some balls. We're not even hinging our wrists again, we're just taking a putting stroke. Nice, Sarah. Hit the pin, good job. Nice one.
Oops.
So let's make sure we follow through. Somebody hit the pin, nice shot. Be sure to lean that club forward. Pretty good. So make sure we follow through, okay? We're kind of sticking it into the ground. Let's make sure we follow through and continue the swing. So for now, we're going to try to land our balls on top of these rags. We're not even looking at it at a particular flag right now, but we need to take different length swings so we can kind of learn how far our balls travel and try to land them on top of the rags. So let's all get in a line, take our BLT stance, and just take different length swings. Make sure we make ball first contact and try to land them on the rags. Make sure we don't flip our wrists, okay? So when we're making the chipping stroke, we're going to make sure that our wrists are locked. And just make a putting stroke with a little bit of wrist hinge at the end. We don't want to flop our wrists through. A little better. Make sure we keep those wrists firm. Good. Alright, so a few things that I've seen kind of relate back to the iron swing that I gave you. So the iron tip that I gave you, I guess. So one thing is that you're still kind of moving you're hinging your wrists really early in the swing, which is kind of why you're skying them a little bit, because you're kind of just coming underneath it. It's a good iron swing because you're going to take a divot, but you don't want to take a divot with the driver. So just like I told you earlier, you want to drag the club back on the ground as long as possible. Make it a really long swing instead of like an up and down swing. And just keep that tempo good. Keep the rhythm really nice, and just give the grass a skim there with your driver. You don't want to dig in like a divot. But so let's tee one up here. I have a drill for you. Let's try something. So set up to the ball like you're gonna hit, and without swinging all the way through, take your back swing. But I want you to drag that ball on the ground as long as possible. Keep the club in contact with the ball for as long as possible, and just stop at the back. Okay, good. So let's not. So that time it was good, but you kind of like went back with it. So let's keep both of our feet on the ground. Make a regular backswing, but let's just try to drag the ball back on the backswing. Perfect. That's much better. So let's just try that. Push the ball back, and let's follow through and finish the swing. Remember to keep it long, not up and down. Very broad swing. that one went a little bit right, which is still kind of attributed to the hinging of the wrists. So you can still drag the club back, but once you're done dragging it back, you still hinge your wrists back up. So let's just try to kind of keep our wrists more connected to our arms, all kind of like one motion moving, and you can take a practice swing. It's a good idea. Try that out. So drag the club back and keep your wrists from moving. Much better. Let's try that. Much better contact though, right? Cool. So let's just keep those in mind when you're on the range working on your... All right, let's see you hit a few, Deneen. One more. That's a good one. So one thing that I think can lead to some inconsistency is that you constantly have, when you finish your swing, it's all on your back foot. And so sometimes you can compensate for it by moving your hands ahead of the ball, which allows for the clean contact, like you did 2 out of the last 3. Those were great shots. With the tops and the chunks and stuff, that inconsistency, that can lead to having too much of your weight on your backside, because it can either bottom out way behind the ball, or you can flick your wrist and you won't even touch the ground at all. And so if we just focus on, let's just try one thing first. Let's just focus on, without any training aids or anything, just focus on your weight. Just be conscious of that, and just try to keep most of your weight. Either let's have like 70 on your front, 30 on your back, and that might even it out, and we can take some swings. Let's just try that real quick.
Okay.
Much better. Very nice. And if you seem to get lost, and if that's not really working, just visualizing and kind of feeling your weight, you can do what's called the flamingo drill. You can take a ball, just any kind of ball, or take a range basket or something, and when you set up to the ball, let's see, I'm looking for right here. If this is the ball you're hitting in this direction, set up to the ball, and then put this under your left heel. And that'll force you to put more weight on your left foot, because you won't be as balanced or stable on your trail foot. That'll make you kind of put more weight on your left foot, kind of forcefully doing it. So if it's not working, just kind of kinesthetically feeling it, then just go ahead and try that flamingo drill.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.